Go ahead, Vince.
And we're live.
There we
Here it
go.
is.
Oh, geez.
I'm
Pain.
feeling great. Here we are. Welcome to the show. This is the SVT Podcast. We talk Bay Area sports, but we also talk our favorite football teams. Sam is a Raiders fan. I'm a Niners fan. Tyler, you're not wearing your Eagles stuff today. Is it because you took an L this week? Is that what happened? Yeah.
Sharks play Thursday. Let's just get to that.
Okay. I see. We're moving on to happier things. The start of a brand new season with the Sharks as well. How are you feeling, Sam? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm hanging in there, trying to be positive, trying to find the silver lining, huh?
Right? Yeah, the silver and black lining. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so with that, why don't you start with that? Obviously, the Raiders did not perform well, to say the least. Indianapolis comes into town and just absolutely boat raced you. But why don't you give us your thoughts about that game?
I mean, honestly, man, the game it says it all in the score, right? Honestly, I think better time spent would be like this roster it's not good enough, man. It's just not. I'm going, I spent the past hour, 2 hours when I got home from work going through the roster, was texting friends today. We're talking about it today. Even my dad was in my office talking to me, hey, what happened? And I just started looking over the roster, man. In defensively, I think the defense is I know the 40 piece makes it look like you're not playing good defense, but the offense has had so many turnovers, so many 3 and outs that you're just putting the defense constantly in a compromised position. So I think if this was truly a bad defense, it would have been 80-3 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
The
It
defense
was 40-6 was the final score, by the way.
right.
And it was in Indianapolis, by the way, too. I had that mixed up. Yeah.
So I think the defense is playing decent. However, I look at the linebacker room and there isn't a quarterback in the linebacker room, and like some of the best defenses, like top tier defenses, Super Bowl contenders, you have a linebacker in the middle of the field. That's just kind of like one of the milestones that you need. And we don't have that in the second level. We don't have that in the third level. And even the Pete Carroll Seattle teams, the Legion of Boom, they had those guys. And maybe, there's a couple of young guys on the roster. Maybe one of them develops or some of them develop into those superstars. But until that happens, they're not, right? They're not, those guys aren't there until they prove it. So there's not really a guy in the secondary that's coming in and creating turnovers or taking out the opposing team's best wide receiver. They don't have a lockdown corner. They just don't have those players. Maybe they're on the roster, but they just haven't developed yet because they have a lot of young guys back there. Offensively, going back to the defense, you still haven't identified a running mate for Max Crosby. They're still trying to figure out is Malcolm Kuntz is going to be that guy. Who's going to be that guy? Adam Butler, we gave you a lot of money. We trusted you. You were half the reason why we could say goodbye to Christian Wilkins. You're not a running mate with Max right now. Like the defense is playing all right, but we're not getting enough sacks. We're not getting enough turnovers. Those guys just aren't on the roster, in my opinion. Offensively, the offensive line has just been absolutely terrible. You've invested a couple of draft picks, but those guys are clearly not ready. Coaching has said that. And it takes a little while for some of these offensive line to develop their technique. So some of those guys probably won't really see until the end of the year or possibly next year as they get a full season under their belt. I think you got a couple of studs in Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty. I think Genty has proven that he's extremely talented and has the potential to dominate the running game in this league. And he's showing that he can catch. So he's showing he is a player to be reckoned with in this league. But you need a line, and Geno Smith isn't helping with these turnovers. Another one. I think that's 9 on the year. Another 2. I think it's like what, 9 on the year.
No, he had
So,
I think it's up to 13 now. I think he had 11.
geez, I mean, it's terrible. Um, so I think ultimately the way I'm reassessing this season at the playoffs, you probably got no shot. I mean, statistically, it says you got no shot. Obviously, you still got to go out there and compete, but really, what I would like to see is like the young guys. Who's going to be here next year? And I consider anybody part of this past draft class. I'm going to call it the Spy Tech era. I don't really want to call it the Pete Carroll era because Spy Tech has a 5-year deal and Pete Carroll has a 3-year deal. So the more I'm thinking about this and going back and just putting this all together, is I think what they're really trying to do is just they're going to build through the draft. All of these guys that they brought in, there's not really any multi-year deals given out. Um, they're all on prove it deals. So now I just really want to see the young guys step up and see who's going to be a role player, who can potentially be a starter. I would still love to knock out some wins and see a winning team and see improvement. But this team is just not very deep on the roster, man, just throughout. And that sucks. That doesn't mean I'm out on Pete Carroll. I think the coaching is good. I think the mission statement is there. I think the philosophy is there. The been there, done that. I just don't think this roster is good enough. I mean, they just released Jermaine Pratt, so that I guess that's Jamal Adams as your weak side linebacker full time. Is that something you're going to hang your hat on if you're going to be a playoff team? I don't think so. I really respect his game. I really respect what he can do as a player that can come in and create havoc and do something for a short burst. But to count on that, how many plays a game? 60, 70, 80 snaps a game? I don't know. I don't think that's there. So I think my silver lining is I went back and I started looking at the draft of the 49ers, the Eagles, because they're respectfully, those are franchises over the past 10, 15, 20 years that have relatively stayed competitive and been to Super Bowls and won Super Bowls. And why is that? And that's because it started in the draft. So I think that's kind of the approach I'm looking at is John Spytek is here to provide some stability. I believe there are some pieces on the roster, um, but it's all going to be built through the draft. You're not going to see a lot of free agent signings. I think they rolled the dice with Geno, and it didn't work out for whatever reason. I thought it would work out better than this. If I was gambling, I didn't think it would be this many interceptions this early in the year. I thought the running game would have been consistent from day one. So there's definitely been some mishaps, whether that's coaching, whether that's execution, all of it. At the end of the day, I just think they don't have enough talent on the roster. You look at teams that are on the come up, they have young, exciting, explosive players. And when you watch the tape on the Raiders, they just don't have that. They got a room full of guys that are like really good role players, but you need to have that superstar in the middle, like the Fred Warner. You need to have somebody on the back end that can create turnovers and take the number one receiver off the field. Offensively, you got to have a consistent offensive line. I look at the 49ers with Mac Jones, and it was a 3-step drop, boom, balls out. Like balls out. Where with Geno, it's like you got him in shotgun, you got him in pistol, and those plays you're waiting for the wide receivers to develop. You're waiting for the route tree to develop, and it's not going to happen. Put them under center, 3-step drop, get the ball out. Take what the defense gives you, but enough of this second and long, third and long, fourth and long. Like put yourself in a position to just be sharp and crisp on offense, and maybe you have a chance. But it's just been it's hard, man. It's really hard
Yeah.
to watch. It's a terrible product, and I get why if you're living in the Las Vegas area, why you wouldn't go to a game if you're a Raider fan, and I get the reason why if you're a visiting fan why you would go. I get it. And until you defend it and own your stadium, like you're gonna get walked on. And this was a point I made to my dad was, for John Spytek and Pete Carroll, for them, this is year one. Okay, for them, this is year one. Whatever happened to the Raiders and Tom Brady and the tuck and Derek Carr breaking his foot, like whatever bad juju the Raiders have, it don't matter to them. This year one for them. For us, the fans, this is like year 30 of like mediocrity. It's been 22 years, 23 years since the Raiders lost the Super Bowl. So we haven't even been close to getting to the Super Bowl, let alone being a playoff contender. So as a fan, we carry the frustration of 20 plus years. But for Pete Carroll and Spytek, they're carrying the frustration of this season. And I think like for their process to work, I look at the Lions. They remember we were laughing at Dan Campbell's press conference when he was like, I'm gonna bite kneecaps, I'm gonna be chewing on ankles. We laughed at it, and now look at they got the second or third best roster in the NFL, and they look very promising. But they built it through the draft. And I think that's something that as Raider fans we have to remind ourselves is that this franchise has been reset so many times that they're constantly in a flux of rebuild. So I think the worst thing you could do is fire Pete Carroll and John Spytek. That is the worst thing you can do. Like honestly, guys, no matter how it looks like, for me, I think you really have to let Pete Carroll have the 3 years, and you have to let John Spytek have the 5 years. Like they have to live out their contract just to have some consistency. Even if they don't get to a Super Bowl, you gotta have that vision follow through. Because right now, like they just keep hitting the reset button every year and a half, and you can't do that. You just can't do it. You gotta be consistent in the draft.
Yeah. All right. Well said. Um, let's move on to Tyler. Your boys had a little bit of a rough showing. Denver comes to town and take you off of the unbeatens. You lose 21-17. You made it close. It was real close at the end there. Our background image in our main image is that Hail Mary, yet fingertips were on the ball. Oh, you almost had it, but couldn't quite get there. Unfortunately, you do fall. What did you see in the game, though? What did you think?
I saw that it was 21-3 at halftime. And like I said, we are playing one half of football. Unfortunately, that's not how you play football. You got to play two halves. And again, I see this was a little bit more promising than I would say the last few games. I'm not too mad at the play calling. It looked like it was still getting developed. And I'm not going to say that Denver's defense didn't change, because they ran a man concept in the first half and then changed to a zone concept, which just really, messed everything up there. But realistically, what you should be doing in a zone concept, if that's what you're seeing, start run the ball outside, stretch the field, shoot the A gaps more. And it just wasn't happening. We were trying to basically find the mismatch, which the mismatch we kept trying to go to was Patrick Surtain. And well, it may have worked in the first half. When you go to a zone concept, Patrick Surtain is all world for a reason, right? So he's going to figure it out just like the rest of the defense did. So I'm not entirely upset about it. I do think obviously there's a lot of things we could work on. Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts having 8 total rushes combined, that's unacceptable in my opinion. I know Saquon
That's
had
malpractice.
Saquon had the big 21-yarder catch for the touchdown there, but realistically, you have a 2,000 season rusher doing 4 carries, 5 carries, and averaging 3 yards. that still needs to get worked out. I think that he had one break for like 12 yards and that was it. So I think what I was saying before was that, defensively, you're asking your team to basically carry the weight, which they have been doing, and it's going to catch up to you. And guess what? It caught up to us, But all things considered, you lost to a team that's not in your division. It's a half a game. Unfortunately, the Cowboys won, and the Commanders also won. So that's an unfortunate situation here. But at the same time, losing a half game versus losing a whole game in your division, I'll take it, right? It's not going to be the end of the world. Plenty of things to work on. We got a quick turnaround Thursday night against the Giants. And then after that, we can kind of see where the team is standing at that point. So, look, it's hard to win the NFL every single week. It's a hard thing to do. So,
yep.
To say
Trust
that,
me, I know.
to say that we're going to blow out the Giants this Thursday, I don't know. We could. We also could make it a
never
very
know what's
close
going
game.
to happen.
You know, so on a short rest like that, I hope the fire has been lit to get some offensive plays going. And I think the problem too that we're running into is that Mailata kind of, our linemen kind of alluded to it, that they're not getting the plays fast enough, right? So then guys aren't ready at the line. Guys aren't ready if a play call needs to be changed, right? And I think of a little bit maybe falls on Jalen Hurts getting that play out and getting his guys set early. But I think a lot of that still kind of falls on Kevin Matullo. And I think he's taken too long to see what the defense might be out in the field and then trying to react to a play that might work. So I think it's something that you're going to have to deal with a first-time offensive coordinator. This is just literally his first time ever doing this, given the reins. And I think that's a hard ask just because usually you get your first-time OCs with pretty dog shit teams, so there's plenty of leash to make mistakes. But when you come off of a Super Bowl, you kind of are going to get looked at in the media a little bit more than maybe, let's say, if you were playing in, I don't know, Cleveland, for instance, right? So, or New York, for instance, right? So, well, maybe not so. New York media is pretty brutal. We'll say Cleveland, right? So, I think that there's that. You're going to have fans that are just up in the air about it. I'm certainly one of those guys. I think that Kevin Matullo does need to be able to react better. Some of the play calling has been very vanilla at best. But again, we're doing the same thing. We only can do one half of football, and I would love to see it come to fruition where we're able to complete 4 quarters of a football game with a dominance. So still early, I'll take the L in a non-divisional game. So looking forward to Thursday, and that's all. That's where my mindset is. Thursday for 2 reasons: the Sharks and for my Eagles.
Right. Oh, great. I guess it means it's my turn. Time for somebody to be in a good mood, right? So let's rewind back to Thursday morning, Wednesday afternoon. The news comes out Brock isn't going to play. Doesn't look good going on paper. I'll say that. Ricky Pearsall's out. Juwan Jennings is out. I don't want to say it looks grim, but damn, it looks grim. It's like, okay, you know what? If they lose, fine, that's all right. But you know what? If they win, oh baby, okay. You'll never be able to get me to shut the hell up if they do win. And wouldn't you know it, the Niners go down into Levi's South, take over the stadium, like they always do. The fans show up down there because that's ours. That's our vacation home. Make it ours, make it red. Go, and there it is. They can't do their Rams house cheer because the Niners fans make it ours. This is Niners house, and they get the win in overtime, 26-23. So I love seeing all those memes beforehand. It's like I saw one in particular. It was like, Rams, Seahawks, Cardinals fans like all shaking hands and it's attending the 49ers funeral. And then people like tweeting stuff out like that. And then right below it is a picture of Fred Warner after the game, like cheering and smiling at Levi's South. So pictures like that, love seeing that. Really just puts a smile on my face. But even before the game started, that Thursday started off really weird. Apparently Mac Jones, he saw a dead body. There was somebody like in their the team hotel in Marina del Rey, there was like a body in their pool. Like they looked out on the balcony, somebody was floating in their pool. Yeah. So that was a little odd.
I did see that posting onto it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diana Rossini for the Athletic reported that. So they saw a body floating in the water. So that was odd. The incident was still under investigation after Friday. So that's the last time I checked up on it, because then news broke elsewhere. But yeah, so let's talk about the game itself. You had you open up with the touchdown. Mac Jones finding Jake Tongas, the third string tight end, right? So that was great. You get another touchdown. Christian McCaffrey, who's been used like crazy, especially since you lose all the other pieces. Christian McCaffrey running the ball, not very effective. He was only like 2.6 yards on average. I think it was 22 carries and 57 yards. Not very efficient. He only had a long of 8. So, the offensive line, those injuries are starting to pile up there, and, he's just not as effective right there. But then he's still effective as a pass catcher, 8 for 82. So that's a 10.3 average. And then Kendrick Bourne had 10 catches for a $142. Are you kidding me? That long, the longest was the 35 yarder as well. So, also Jake Tongas had 11 targets as well. He had 7 catches for 41 yards. I mean, I'm not counting on Jake Tongas to have,
that was a nice
but
pickup in my league. I swung for the fences on that one. I hit a home run. So thank you.
Yeah, he's been great. You're probably only gonna get one more week out of him though, because
that's fine.
It sounds like Kittle could return. He's likely to be back by week 7, is what it sounds like, which is great news, because that first week before he got injured, he was lighting it up, and it looked like it was going to be a huge Kittle season, and it still could be, just based on what Jake Tongas is doing. I mean, put George Kittle there and just imagine, turn that, 7 for 41. I imagine that's with 11 targets. I imagine that's 9 for 110, or something like that. Something really ridiculous, and two touchdowns instead of 1 touchdown. Like, it's like, that's the kind of stat line you're looking at for George Kittle if you replace him with Jake Tongas in the starting lineup there. That's kind of what I'm looking at if when George Kittle re-enters the lineup here in a couple of weeks. They're on the mini bye, as we like to call it, when you play that Thursday night game. So you get the week and a half off, which is great. Let's see. What else happened with the game itself? They made it interesting when you look at the stops in the end. That's where you get a little lucky. Okay. You get the fumble, right? at the end, Kyron fumbled the ball, and you're able to you get that turnover. You end up punting on a 3 and out. That only lasted about, it was a 23-second drive, so to speak. You took 23 seconds off the clock, but that's, you're at the end of the game. That took it down to about a minute left. And the Rams were only able to get about they were only able to get a field goal on the ensuing. They were coming down for a touchdown. They were about to like win the game, but because you were able to force that fumble, they come back. They were only able to get a field goal. That's huge. That forces it to overtime instead of, a potential game winner. And then in overtime, you get the field goal. You turn around, you stuff them on that 4th down, and the game is over. Oh, huge play. I don't know what some of that play calling was on the other side, but the Niners took advantage of that. So, you take what's given to you, right? You can only do with what's given to you. You get the opportunities that are presented to you, and the Niners took advantage of that, and they played up. They showed out, and then they handled business, man. I was very, very pleased, obviously, with getting the win. And now the Niners are in first place in the NFC. You know, because of the Eagles' loss. Tied for first with the Eagles, and everybody else, nobody's undefeated anymore because the Bills also lost. So everybody has at least one loss. Yeah, it's everybody's, all even. It's like nobody's lost now at this point. Eddie Pinheiro with that field goal off the post and in. Jake Moody, that doesn't even hit the post, apparently, I would bet. So that's nice. It's nice when the breaks go your way instead. So that's good. Doinking in. That's good. I'm breathing easier now a little bit. That's great. I didn't even need my inhaler to breathe easier, so that's good. Got my cardio workout in too on Thursday night. That's great. Just overall, I'm feeling pretty good about how that ended up going down overall, and having upvote parties on Reddit, especially in the NFC West meme war, especially on Sunday when everybody was talking their shit, and then I was just like watching the Seahawks lose as well. Oh, so great, so great. Oh, I loved it. Oh, that's so good. The Buccaneers took care of business for us, and then the Arizona Cardinals embarrassed themselves.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah,
seeing the highlights of that game.
Oh yeah, they were up 21-9 or something like that with like 13 minutes left in the game, and they were their running back DeMarcado was running a 70 something yards to the end zone. He drops the ball short of the end zone. I don't know why skill position players do that. He's slowing up like 10 yards short, and then he just drops the ball short. And Tennessee ends up winning the game. So. All right. Anyway, that's enough of that. There's a couple of notes we have here for the NFL at large. Let's start with the downer and then finish with the happier note. Mark Sanchez doing some idiot stuff.
He was intoxicated. I did not put that note in there, so I do want to preface that. Not that it made it any better.
No, he was arrested for.
Did you hear what they were arguing about?
Well, hold on. Let's say what it was first.
Let's say what it was. He was arrested for allegedly assaulting a DoorDash worker. Mark was stabbed and in critical condition. Misdemeanor charge was then updated to a felony, felony 2, I believe, and he faces 1 to 6 years in prison, possibly. The DoorDash driver is suing Mark as well. So what were they arguing over?
I read that it was a truck driver picking up recycled grease from a hotel. And Mark Sanchez was, you can't do that here. I talked to the owner. They were literally arguing about this guy doing his job. And apparently it's like a 60-something-year-old man. And the dude pulled out his pepper spray. He was getting his ass beat, so he stabbed him. He's Mark Sanchez.
That's crazy.
What? Incident that never should have happened. What are you doing, dude?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I don't understand. He was in Indianapolis, right? I think after the
the Raider and Colts game.
He was going to be calling that game. I missed it. Who ended up calling that game instead? Who did they?
The great Brady Quinn.
They called in Brady Quinn. Oh Lord.
Wow.
Oh,
well, another day.
Okay. Anyway. So Mark Sanchez just, being a real just piece of work. Anyway.
Career done.
I think the broadcast career might be on hold for a little bit there while they get that sorted out. Then on to some happier news. Keenan Allen recorded his 1,000th career reception in 159 games. I had a little typo there. That's the fewest games anyone's ever took to get there. So congrats to Keenan Allen. Great work there. If he hadn't had some injuries, we would say he would have been one of the youngest. Obviously not one of the youngest, but one of the fastest to get there. Obviously, fewest games to get there. That's pretty impressive. So great work there. Cal's own, Keenan Allen. Love that. Awesome. Let's move on to some basketball. The big breaking news earlier today out of the NBA, LeBron James is teasing the Decision 2 Electric Boogaloo. Gonna come out tomorrow for us on the Pacific Coast. It's gonna be 9 a.m. What's it gonna be, fellas?
Guys, he announced a partnership with Amazon last year, like some kind of endorsement deal, and tomorrow's Prime Day. So don't expect anything great.
Okay. A lot of people are thinking it's going to be, a retirement season or whatever. I would think if it's going to be that, I wouldn't be surprised because LeBron is the kind of guy that wants to get the year-round celebrate me kind of treatment. Like, I could see that if it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, that totally doesn't surprise me if it's going to be an Amazon thing. That's why I said, what's it going to be instead of, is this the retirement announcement? So we'll find out what it is tomorrow morning. And if it's anything besides a retirement, we'll skip it entirely.
It will be Amazon for Prime.
It's going to be Amazon probably, but yeah. Anyway, okay. So now to the Warriors itself. It's over. It's finally over. Oh, the Kuminga saga is done.
It's done.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah,
Kuminga needs to fire his agent. That agent did a horrible job.
Yeah,
didn't even get the contract that he wanted. So
no. He ended up signing that 2-year, $48.5 million deal, with the second year being the team option, as the team held fast to. The deal is designed to be ripped up and renegotiated in the offseason. So Kuminga turned down that 3-year, $75 million deal to maintain control over his immediate future. He's also eligible to be traded after January 15th, should that be necessary. One more note about this. He's also changing his number. Goodbye 00. Hello 1.
I really should have bought a Pazinski jersey last year. I bought the 00 Kuminga jersey last year. Now, bad investment.
Okay, so after the Jonathan Kuminga and Al Horford contracts, Golden State Warriors are hard capped. They did add Seth Curry to the team as well officially. The deal is an Exhibit 9 deal, according to Mark Stein. He's going to be here for training camp, and then he'll have to be waived, and then he'll be re-signed about a month into the season when the Warriors have tax apron flexibility. He can so when Seth Curry gets cut after training camp, do not be surprised. He will be back. Okay, so don't act all shocked and shaken when that happens, people. Okay, just throwing that out there.
Did you see that he reportedly had asked Steph if he could buy his number 30? And Steph said, I don't really need the money.
I did see that. Yeah. It's obviously all in good jest.
I think he's opting for 31 this year, because when he was with the Warriors the first time around, he was 0-3. So I think this time he's going to go with 31. That's my understanding. So, which is cool. I mean, I'm glad to have him back. I think he technically, this isn't really an amazing stat line, but he technically has a better 3-point percentage than Steph Curry does at a significantly smaller attempt numbers.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm just glad that this Kuminga situation has resolved itself basically exactly as we thought it would. Yeah. So there it is.
He's getting traded.
Of course, he was going to sign the bigger deal,
That's the question. Is he getting traded?
Oh yeah.
Was he going to sign the $7 million deal or the $25 million deal? Come on. Of course he was going to sign a $25 million deal. Like, it's, so silly. Like this was even a question. Like, it was just dragged on for no reason, just to piss us all off. But here we are, and yeah, get a new agent, because this guy did not work for you, bud. All right.
Yeah, that agent was terrible.
Yeah. Now that this contract is in, you can break off his fee and then get a new one, because he's done. All right. Like, he's done his job. Contract's over. Time to get a new one, because the next one's coming at the end of this year. And
I do think, though, to Sam's point, though, he is getting traded. I think. I guess my question is, we're gonna find out probably about a month into this, right? What's the locker room gonna be like?
Right now they're playing nice. Everybody's all smiles, everything's happy-go-lucky. We'll see what happens as the season wears on. If everything's settled, then great. If there's some friction, if Kuminga's not happy with things, if he has a sourpuss attitude,
well, that's what I'm saying. Let's say it's a month into this and he hasn't improved. He's still having defensive liability issues. He's not getting the ball as much as he would like. What's the locker room like at that point, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think for Kuminga to expect Kerr to just change his stripes all of a sudden, Zebras don't change stripes, but unfortunately, if you don't play hard hustle basketball, not just defense, just hustle, you ain't gonna see the court. I'll tell you. So hopefully, maybe this contract, Kuminga can now say, I've got my bag now. I'm working for a bigger one, but I've got my money now. So hopefully that means that translates to work ethic on the court, but yet to be determined.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. So we don't have Valkyries per se update, but we do have WNBA news. So we're just going to leave the basketball image up, but we're going to talk WNBA real quick. So the all rookie team was announced, and for the first time since 2014 and the 7th time total, the top 4 picks from the same draft class all made the team. Paige Beckers, the number 1 overall pick at Dallas. Dominique Malonga, Seattle, number 2. Sonia Citron and Kiki Irafin from Washington, 3 and 4. And then the outlier was Janelle Salon from the Golden State Valkyries, undrafted, made the all-rookie team. So, that's great. We love that for the Valkyries. We love that for Janelle Salon. And, it was great news being the outlier, so to speak, and also undrafted as well. That's great news. So with that, let's talk about the finals as well. So Las Vegas won the first 2 games. The first one was a real nail biter. Las Vegas got the win 89-86. The second game, Las Vegas handily beat Phoenix 91-78. It was not as close as that score might indicate.
Well, the first game, Alyssa Thomas blew it. All she had to do was make 2 free throws, and she missed both of them at the end of the game. So the winner of game 1 has gone on to win the WNBA finals 20 of 28 times. That being said, the Phoenix Mercury do have a history of being one of those teams to win the finals after losing game 1. They did it in 2007. So, and also the New York Liberty just did it last year as well. So there is, after the first time it happened, after losing first game, sure, you could do it. But then after losing the second game, it's like, ugh, and especially losing that badly. I don't know, man. Asia Wilson is a force to be reckoned with. Obviously, Mount Everest, as we said last week. She's not on Mount Rushmore. She is Mount Everest. She's one of one. At this point, this is when we talk about Michael Jordan or Steph Curry or LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. Being able to watch the greats as they're being great. This is Asia Wilson doing that right now too in the W. So this is so game 3 is on Wednesday at 5 p.m. on the Pacific Coast, and game 4 is Friday at 5 p.m. Watch both of those games if you have the chance. If Phoenix can steal
one of those games. They're both at home in Phoenix. So if Phoenix is able to steal one of those games, game 5 would be Sunday at noon. And then so we'll see what happens there at that point. It's quick flights too, Vegas and Phoenix. So they're not flying very far. You don't have to worry about travel in this series, that's for sure. So yeah, that there is your update for the WNBA finals, and we are on to hockey. This is breaking news today, actually. Connor McDavid and Edmonton agreed to a 2-year, $12.5 million average annual value contract extension. He takes no raise. This is what he's getting paid right now, is $12.5 million a year. So he basically just extends his contract, keeps the same money for the next 3 years now at this point. He's going to be there for the next 3 years to prioritize winning the Stanley Cup. He has the team that's on the precipice. They've been in the finals the last 2 years. They've kind of run into this buzzsaw known as the Florida Panthers, unfortunately.
Which the rings came out and they looked pretty good, by the way.
Yeah, the rings did look pretty clean. Yeah. He's won the Hart Trophy 3 times, the Art Ross 5 times, the Rocket Richard Trophy a couple of years ago, the Conn Smythe Trophy in 2024. Last season, he became the 4th youngest and the 4th fastest player in NHL history to reach 1,000 points at 27 years, 306 days, and in 659 games. He's already up to almost 1,100 points in 712 career games. He also has 150 points in 96 career playoff games, which puts him 3rd behind Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux at 1.53 points per game. So pretty good company the guy's playing at right there. That's pretty good names. Not to be outdone, though, in terms of the money department, Kirill Kaprizov and Minnesota Wild agreed to a record 8-year, $136 million contract extension. That is the richest deal in NHL history. I figure after this 2-year extension is done, that's when Connor McDavid is going to cash in and top the $17 million average annual value that Kaprizov is going to be making from Minnesota. So let's talk about the Sharks now, the real reason we're here, the Bay Area, the team that we're all really heavily invested in. So the Sharks closed out their preseason 2-4. Macklin Celebrini played in his final game on Saturday. He got an assist on a Will Smith goal, and along with Tyler Toffoli as well on that same goal. So the Slumber Party bobblehead boys getting it done on that one goal. The Sharks did make a trade. They sent forward Carl Gunstrom and defenseman Artem Guriev to Philly for defenseman Ryan Ellis's contract and a conditional 6th-round pick, the earlier of which would either be Philly or Columbus Blue Jackets. Philly had acquired that in an earlier transaction, so whichever one ends up earlier, whoever does worse is the better one. We'll get that. Ellis hasn't played in a game since 2021 in November due to an injury. So he has 2 years remaining at $6.25 million a year on that contract. So actual salary obligations are lower though. So he's so that's fine for the owner. That's great. Whatever. Grunstrom played 56 games with the Sharks last year, and Guriev is at the ECHL level last season. So minor league defenseman, and Grunstrom for the contract, basically to keep the Sharks above the tax above the salary cap floor, and that's great news to as well, to make sure that they can trade away some pieces if they need to, should they need to do more player dumping if the season goes terribly wrong later. So that's good.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Nisa and Dickinson, are they starting?
They are. I was keeping an eye on this today, and all signs point to yes. They another part of moving Grunstrom was to clear space for Misa. Okay. So making this move was part of it, and it just they announced that just some of the other moves that were made, making room for like some of the guys that they did send down it looks like that both Dickinson and Misa are going to be on the starting roster, and that starts their 9-game clock. And so as long as they're, you know, if they stay up past 9 games, they can no longer be sent down to the OHL. And at that point, they are on the roster for the rest of the year. So if they play good and they, they stay, that's it. So that they're going to be on the team, I think. And there's no, they're both way too talented for the OHL at this point. I think they proved that, and I think they can do a lot more good for their career, even if it's a rough go, if it's rough to start. We saw that with Will Smith last year. It was a little rough at the beginning, and then that second half last year, he really came alive. So that's kind of where we're at now with these guys, and I think that proved quite beneficial for Will Smith, and I think that they'll probably take a similar approach. Maybe Misa may need to sit out a few games here and there, and they may do the same with Dickinson. Have him play a couple games, then sit out a game or two, and then just if he needs it, or if he's playing well, just let him keep playing, as well. So who knows? That's kind of where we're at. If they need to take a game off, they can watch a game from up above and, take notes, take diligent note taking, as Pam Beasley once said in The Office season 3. So that's kind of where we're at with these guys. I think they're gonna make the opening night roster is what it looks like. I'm pretty excited for that, man. This is gonna be really exciting.
Which jersey are you gonna get?
Oh man, it's gonna be cheaper on the Stitchers to buy the Dickinson one, I think. No, wait, no. The last name's longer, but it's only one number, so it evens out. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Oh, it's but they, these new jerseys are going to be
Celebrini last year, so
yeah, we got the Celebrini. The only thing that's left to be decided is whether they're going to pin the C on Toffoli or whether they're going to not have a captain.
I think Sharks. I think Toffoli earned it. I think
I would think so too. Yeah. I think Toffoli earned it. I think they'll probably put an A on Macklin Celebrini, and then they'll probably put an A on Mario Ferraro and a couple other guys, and they'll like rotate out, who gets the A on home games versus away games, and
right.
Like they'll have a system that that's what these teams do now. Is there's like a leadership group, right? You have the one guy that wears the C the entire time, and then you have like 4 guys that get to wear the A, 2 of them for home games and 2 of them for away games, and it kind of just rotates. So that's kind of what I would expect we'll see at this point. And that's so that's kind of what we're looking at. So the upcoming games, you have the home opener and the season opener versus Vegas on Thursday, and then you have right after that Saturday versus Anaheim.
I'm still not thrilled that the opening game is not televised on our local broadcasting.
Yeah, I'm
still not thrilled about that.
So to see it, we have to either like get the ESPN app or whatever, or we got to go to the game itself. So I'm gonna take a look and see what the prices are for the tickets and get back to you on that. I don't know.
Well, unfortunately, my football team will be playing, so I won't be watching it. But maybe the place I go to, maybe they can have it on another TV screen. So
yeah, I'm
going
sure
on Thursday. So
yeah, we'll have to circle back to that. And with that, I think it's time for me to stop talking for a second and let you talk about soccer and talk about Wrexham.
Yeah. Look, you didn't really move up, which is not bad, but you didn't really plummet down. So 2 games this week. One against Leicester, if you are from the more northern areas. Birmingham, both came down into ties, 1-1 on those. You're currently 2-4-3 in your standings, 10 points, which is 18th in the championship. Next match isn't for like another week and a half here, so against Stoke on the 18th.
Really, that far out?
It's pretty far out. There's no games this week, and I think because they were eliminated from a cup, there's no cup games for them this weekend, which would have been something they would have been part of. But they're pretty far out for the next game. So maybe take the well rest and come back fresh and ready to go against Stoke. I just think at this point, like kind of what we said last week, is that being middle of the road is not the worst thing in the world, especially from a team that moved up so rapidly and is definitely operating in the red. So, look, every team's going to be operating in the red unless you're the top of the top, right? But it's just balancing that red, making sure that needle doesn't go dark red,
Yeah.
So,
keep it within the lines, keep it close enough. Yeah,
stay up. If it's a couple years in the championship, I can't see why anyone in Wrexham or fans of Wrexham would be upset with that by any means, unless you're new to the sport and don't realize what they've done is historic already. So can't be mad with it. You need better players. Unfortunately, there's just talent pool's not there and the money's not there right this second. So also too, be nice to get a farm system that's able to produce some top level players that they can pull from. And they currently have some guys, but nothing that's really polished and set in stone. So
it's expensive to buy players. It's much easier to grow them, yourself. That's true for any sport, right? That's why you build through the draft is what we like to say in like in the NFL and baseball and basketball and hockey. That's why you build through the draft, or or in soccer you build through your minor league teams, whatever they're called, your academy is the word I was looking for. You build through your academy.
Yeah, and by all means, we've had some comments in the past about Wrexham, and we're not experts by any means. So if you have more knowledge of the sport, please don't hesitate to comment on to our videos.
Yeah, we freely admit that we are a little bit more casual. We're still learning a little bit about Wrexham specifically, but we're having fun with it, and we're just excited, and just like what we see. We're having fun, and we excited to talk about it.
We can attest from this end. Being fans of teams that are underdogs is always fun. So I love every aspect of it. So, but yeah, that is the Wrexham update, as Vince would say.
Okay. All right. So we do have some news on the international front for soccer. FIFA held discussions on the possibility of expanding to 2030, the 2030 tournament to 64 teams. The idea was submitted by a couple of South American nations as a one-off to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the World Cup. UEFA president is skeptical, citing reduced jeopardy and lower competition in the tournament. But the 2030 tournament will be hosted across 3 continents and 6 countries. Paraguay, Uruguay, and Argentina will each have 1 game at the start of the event. The expansion would mean that they could each host 1 group instead. So they would each host 3 games basically instead of 1, and that's the idea. The remainder of the schedule would still be split across Spain, Portugal, and Morocco. FIFA had, and then in other news, FIFA has confirmed the mascot for the upcoming 2026 World Cup.
Oh boy.
The mascots are going to be Clutch, the eagle, representing the US, Maple, the moose for Canada, and then Zayu, the jaguar for Mexico. So that's fun. Looking at the image, they're mascots. They're kind of they're a little AI looking right now. It's a little weird, but they're, adorable adjacent, I'll say. They're, I think they need a little work, but I suppose if you put them in a mascot actual costume, they'll look a little bit better. So moving on, they did drop the roster for the upcoming friendlies. No real surprises, so to speak. I would say that the Christian Pulisic obviously is going to be vitally important, and he's on the team, so he's back to come in and showing up for these very, very, very important matches leading up to the World Cup. So the upcoming matches are going to be this Friday versus Ecuador at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, and then this Tuesday, the following Tuesday, the 14th, versus Australia at 6 p.m. Pacific. So just look for those matches to come up, coming up in the next week or so. So yeah, I'm just looking at the roster itself. You got 4 goalkeepers. Matt Turner is back. Matt Freese is your front runner right now. So, but Matt Turner could obviously maybe steal his job back. We'll see. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. We're just guys are jostling for their final spot in the on the World Cup roster. All right. We're gonna switch gears now to Bay FC, and it is unfortunate, but they did lose this game 2-1 at the Portland Thorns on Saturday. With this loss, Bay FC is officially eliminated from playoff contention. Taylor Huff did get her 3rd goal of the season. She scored in the 36th minute. It was just from outside the 18-yard box, and she snuck it past the goalkeeper low and left side. It was a pretty clean goal, gotta admit. But then Olivia Moultrie from in the 51st minute, she got a goal. Basically, U.S. Women's National Team midfielder Sam Coffey drove the left side. She fed the pass into Moultrie, and then she just finished. She just finished with her just really sick goal. And that was her. Let me get these right. It's her 15th career NWSL goal. It's her 5th this year, and it's her first as a non-teenager. She just turned 20 last month, so like she's been around the national team for like 3 years now already, and she just turned 20. So Olivia Moultrie, we've been talking about her for 3 years now at this point. Like, and then she comes back around another 15-20 minutes later, scores again, directly off of a set piece too. She just sneaks the shot right around the wall and into the lower right corner, and that's her first career brace. So in the NWSL as well. So she's going to be making a push for the 2027 Women's World Cup team as well. So look for that to be a discussion point. Right now, obviously, Bay FC is eliminated, as I said, and they're sitting 13th place out of 14 teams. Next year, 2 new teams enter the NWSL as well. Their next match is going to be at Seattle Reign on Friday. So they're doing the Pacific Northwest games back to back. Before the game, they also announced that they had signed their midfielder Dorian Bailey to a new contract through 2027. I like that signing. Dorian Bailey is a solid player. Nothing really earth-shattering about that. Yeah. So there we go. That does it for me. And I think unless you guys got anything you want to add,
I'm good, man.
That's it. Yeah.
I do want to say baseball playoffs are here. I know you guys aren't too keen to. Dodgers have now taken 2 games against the Phillies. Just need 1 more to close that one out.
Okay.
2 more to close that one out.
Oh yeah. Sam and I are playing each other this week in fantasy football. And Sam, you need about a 50 burger from Patrick Mahomes. Right now you're on pace to get about 30 from him. Which is, that's an admirable performance, but that still leaves you about 20 short. So I'm cruising there. That's great for me. Makes me feel good. Makes the league feel good because you're the only undefeated left. Not only were you undefeated, you're 2 games clear of second place. So that brings you back to the pack a little bit. Yeah. You're welcome, rest of the league. And that would also jump me up from like 8th up to like 3rd or 4th place too, depending on how everybody else's points scatter too. So that's great for me, great for the league. Bad for Sam, but that's okay because Sam's still going to be in first place even with the loss. So he'll be fine.
I'll get back to my winning ways.
Yep. How's that league that we the Superflex league doing? How's that one going?
We're in first place for that one.
Cool. Love that.
So I got to check the scores. I think it was like a 50-50 shot tonight. It was getting really tight. Of course, I made CJ Stroud hasn't been playing very well, so I didn't start him this week, and he went off for like a
nuclear.
30,
Yeah, he went nuclear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's on me.
That's okay. It happens. All right. Yeah, I guess that does it. For everybody who loves their nerd jock bullshit, there's your nerd jock bullshit update.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for listening to the SVT podcast. Subscribe on YouTube and hit the bell to get alerts when we go live. Also, if you don't have time to listen to the full episodes on Mondays, we put out several segments throughout the week on YouTube. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Threads at SVT Sports Pod. Slide into the DMs. Would love to interact with all you beautiful people.
FJF, and have a great night.
Have a good night, everyone.